The Mets improved to 3-3 on their four-city road trip thanks to a clutch game-winning ninth-inning hit from Francisco Lindor. So let's get you guys some amazing content with Mets content creator Tyler Ward. Wardy, what's going on, my man? Fire hat, bro.
How are you, Brandon?
Oh, another beautiful day in Zamunda. It's amazing morning anytime Francisco Lindor gets them a game winner, puts them at 500 on the road trip. That win puts them at 60-54 on the season, and it also put them at a half a game back for the third NL wild card spot. I mentioned Francisco Lindor showing up big, but this team's trade deadline acquisitions have come up big, and they've been tested early. So I'm going to ask you, my man, overall as a whole, what grade would you give the new guys so far?
So far, the new guys between Oscar Brazoban, Jesse Winker, Paul Blackburn, and at least one more in there that I'm blanking at the moment, Ryan Stanek, to name a few, Phil Maton. I'd probably have them still in the B grade for sure, mainly because of Paul Blackburn's greatness that we saw yet again in the Mets' latest victory with him. He has been nothing short of pure dominance in his first two starts with the Mets, now posting a 1.5 ERA across the first 12 innings or so in his Metropolitan career. Oscar Brazoban had that one unfortunate outing that led to a Mets loss against the Halos here on this road trip, but I honestly thought Carlos Mendoza let him hunt out to dry a little bit just because he threw 6 pitches to every single batter he faced. It wasn't a great sequence there for Oscar, who has bounced back since then, thankfully, and Ryan Stanek had a solid outing the last time he was out there, and Jesse Winker, who we talked about not all that long ago, Brandon. I was telling you how nice of a pickup this was for the Mets. A huge 3-hit game for him, including an RBI for the first time. Things are definitely trending in the right direction here in Queens.
Yeah, I had to come back to you because you caught it. I mean, can you give us the lottery numbers? You know, since you got that foresight. It's a team that could have went 2-4, but thanks to that Lindor hit, they're 3-3 on this road trip so far. So, what grade would you give the Mets overall on the road trip, and why?
Oh, grade for the road trip so far? It's probably a C. At best right now. It has been a very underwhelming start to this road trip. A 500 record throughout your first 6 games is not horrendous by any stretch, but to lose a series to the Angels is always inexcusable with how tight this wild card race is right now. We just saw the Diamondbacks and the Padres now both being teams 10 games above 500 at least, and the Braves are floundering, which helps the Mets' cause right now as they push for postseason play. But this road trip is vital. A 10-game stand where the majority of those games in that stretch, you're playing lesser teams. So that's why the rubber match against the Rockies is that vital, and that's why their upcoming series before they wrap up the road trip is that vital. So yes, I'm going to give them a C currently, with the chance to obviously improve upon that and hopefully not drop down to a D or F, God forbid, if things really go bad in the coming days.
1-1 against the Rockies. What are your thoughts on this series? You think they should be struggling with this team, or Rockies team that's 31 games under 500?
Oh, no, not at all. The fact that the Mets needed a 9th-inning rally against the Rockies in a bullpen game, when the Rockies are notorious for one of the worst overall pitching staffs in Major League Baseball and just organizations as a whole. We've known this for how many years now? This is not to slight Rocky fans out there. It's just a reality. They know that. And this is a team that the Mets, unfortunately, are playing down against, similar to what they did earlier this season. So all the more reason why the Mets need to be playing a better game than what they currently are at the moment. Their offensive woes continue post-All-Star break, post-MLB trade deadline. They just have not found unison within that lineup, and that's vital for a Mets team, because if you look at how they got to the point that they've gotten, not so much just on the pitching end, but more so on the offensive end, has been that biggest driver for them the past couple months here in summer. That needs to continue in order for this team to have success.
Yeah, at the time we're recording this, the Mets play at 3:10 p.m. today, so we can't really talk about the third game of that series. But you know what? Let's have some fun and look ahead to the Mariners series. You think they need to sweep that series before returning to Queens to take on the A's?
Do they need to? No. Would I like them to? Yes. I think those two things need to be separated, right? For the Mets, they need to win this series for sure. This is a tough Seattle Mariners team with arguably the best rotation in all baseball, with Luis Castillo, Ryan Wu, you have George Kirby, Logan Gilbert, the list goes on and on. They have a fantastic starting staff, but even with the acquisitions of Randy Rosarena and Justin Turner, that offense is quite underwhelming, averaging right around 4 runs per game this season. That's where the Mets need to pounce in a ballpark that is not so easy to hit sometimes. It'll be really interesting to see how they fare there to wrap up their road trip in Seattle. But yes, anything short of a series victory will come off as quite the disappointment to not only the Mets, but us fans as we're still climbing in that wild card spot.
All right, Tyler, tell the people where they can find you, my man.
Thank you guys so much, as always, for watching our latest segment here. Brandon, always appreciate the interview, my friend. You guys can check me out at WardyNYM on YouTube, where I cover the Mets and MLB as a whole. Check out my work there all on Twitter X at WardyNYM. Same applies. Appreciate this, as always, and looking forward to the next discussion, hopefully, as the Mets continue to roll here and trend in the right direction.